So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Varden. I enjoy playing One Piece when I'm not going to school. And yeah,
Do you have experience in other card games?
I have a little Magic experience. I played for a few years, but nothing like too competitive. Just like local level, like Commander stuff like that, just for fun mostly. This is my first competitive card game.
Got it. Well, let's just jump into your deck list.
Yeah, sure. So I have 4 Spandom. A lot of people were running 3 or 4. There's never less than that. This is just your searcher for all the cards in your deck. I like it at 4. I like consistency over most things, so 4 out consistency. Then we have the reducers. So we have 3 up stage. This card's getting banned for a reason. It's really strong with the effect, give -3. -3 for free every single turn is just really good. Tempest Kick is just the new Great Eruption. So Great Eruption was 1, cycle a card and give -2 to something. This gives -3. It has a stipulation, so I think it's a little weaker, but like Lucci milling 2 every single turn, really easy to get this stipulation on, so it's just 1 -3 cost to something. I'm playing Ice Age, which was a hot take for this set. A lot of people were off of it. I think this card can just crawl you back into situations that you need that extra 2 reduction instead of Tempest Kick. Especially in the mirror, there's a lot of situations where you just fall behind, you don't see stage, and this can just like get you back into the game. Without it, I've never played less than 2. Me and Holden were running 2 for a reason, and we both got first and second, so I think that speaks for itself. For Moria, I don't really need to explain this card. If you play the game, I'm sure you hate this card or you love it, depending on if you play black. Yeah, it plays a 4 and a 2. You can do a lot of nasty combos with it that I'll talk about later, and just a really big body. Blockers, we got 3 Sabo. A lot of people are on 4. I find that I can cycle these back with Becca pretty effectively. So 3 was the number that I went on. I would play 4, but I don't see any slots in the deck that can really come out. So I think 3 is like a good number. I don't think I'd ever play less than 3 though. Super good card, really good in the mirror. Prevents a lot of their KO besides Brook. Like, it's really hard. Everything's really sticky. Becca, another one of the best cards in the game. Just getting a free block every single turn in this deck is basically like a free card because they have to deal with other things instead of this. This allows just so much like consistency, just like so many different things. You can go back to Sabo, which allows you to play 2 unkillable blockers. You can grab back a 2K if need be, and then there's a bunch of other combos that just exist as this card. Speaking of one of those combos, Spandine. So Becca allows you to grab Spandine and play Spandine off the effects, which then allows you to play a card later. I mean, you can play any CP, like I used this multiple times throughout this tournament, just to play like a Khalifa, cycle 2 cards, or play a Kaku, give -3 to something just for the extra reduction. So there's a lot of versatility with this card. The main reason that you play it is because you can go Moria and the Becca and play a blocker while also playing this card, the namesake card of the deck, Lucci. Kills a 2 and a 1. It's been around for a long time. This card's really good. It's really easy to get the stipulation of getting it to a 2 and 1 in this deck between Ice Age, Tempest Kick, and a Slavi with a lot of reduction. And Spandine playing this means you get to develop a Becca and Lucci off of your Morias. Even just raw playing Rebecca and Spandine, Lucci is also really good in a lot of matchups. Also 6K stat line, just vanilla stat line, decently big body, doesn't get free swing and do stuff like that. Next for our KO, we have 3 Brook. I really like this card. I would have played it at 4 if I could find slots, but being able to grab it off Becca and having mill 2 every single turn makes it so that you see this card pretty consistently. It kills a 1, but it's a threat on the board that's really annoying to deal with, because if you don't, then I get to either give -1 for free, so I have 1 extra reduction for free, which can come in handy, or I just have the ability to just kill something on the spot, like a Tempest Kick. Tempest Kick plus Brook, if you use Leader Swing, kills a 5, so there's a lot of versatility with this. Really annoying card. Really like this card. Brook. Brook is a good card. At the beginning of the set, I wasn't running it. It kills a 4, which is relevant. Like, that can come up, that you can only get something down to a 4 instead of getting it to a 2 for Lucci or a 3 for Kaku. But it's mostly just to clear top Sabos on curve. With leader effects, it makes Sabo a 4, and then this clears a 4 without KOing it, just trashes it, so it gets around the whole non-KO effect. And with Ennis Lobby, you can obviously just clear the Sabo, and you still get a free 5 at life, even if you play the Brook, because if you swing 5 first, you don't have Ennis Lobby, then they get a free block with the Sabo first, and then can't clear it without getting the free 5k block in. But good card. I would continue to play 2 next set. Kaku, this is also another hot take. This is just more KO. And it's also a CP target, so I wanted maximum amount of CP targets for my Spandoms. So I did think about going down a Kaku to go up another Brook, because Brook on curve against Sabo is just so good. Then I go down another CP, my Spandoms are less consistent, and I just didn't want that. So this is just CP KO in addition to Rob Lucci. Also, hitting a 3 is relevant sometimes, because you can only get something down to a 3. This comes up a lot in like Anel specifically, where you have Ennis Lobby leader plus Tempest Kick, which is -6. So a Yamato, for example, you can only get down to a 3, and Kaku just clears it for free. So for 6 gone, you can clear that, and you can make all the swings stuff like that. So I like this card. I will continue to play 2, even if other people don't. Finger Pistol. I got put on this card towards the end of the set. Clears a 5, which can also come up a lot against like Anel, because it's really easy to get bodies to a 5. The stage plus leader swing, like any reduction in the deck basically gets it there. So super easy to get things to a 5. I like this card in the BY. If they ever play the 5-cost Luffy, you get to just clear the 5 without having to swing at leaders, so you can continue to starve them. And it's also really good into RP. You can set up triple clear turns where you use Tempest plus Rob Lucci plus Finger Pistol, leader stage, clear 2-3 units. Really strong. If you see this out of life against some decks, it's completely devastating. Just to pop a 5 out of life, and you feel trash while doing it. It's super good. I don't know about this card next set, but for this set, I would continue to play 2 for sure. Another thing that I was running that a lot of people weren't was the 0 cost. I'm a big anti-brick guy within decks, so just having the ability to get rid of one of my bricks is important to me. If you watch the finals game, I lost because I'm not blaming on this, but when he swung a 6, I had 4 or 5 bricks in hand, so he swung the 6, I had to take the 6 to 0, and since I had no counter, I just died in the next turn. So counter is important. I think this is a really good card. I will continue to play this next.
Are there games where you need to use it to pitch like a Lucci for trash?
Yeah. That's also another big point, is sometimes keeping this in hand can actually result in you pitching a Lucci, because it obviously doesn't have counter, so it's hard to get in trash. That did come up a few times during the tournament. So just the versatility of this card, and even just turning a 1k into basically a 2k. This acts as a 2k if you pitch a 1k to it. So even that is just like perfectly fine. And a lot of late game situations where I spandomed into this, which gave me the counter to be able to live next turn, and I don't know, really good card. I would continue to play, and it's searchable, so that's the main thing, searchable as well. Then we have our 2Ks. The best 2K of the bunch is definitely Khalifa, playing for Khalifa. The card is very good. It helps you filter on your forward on turn, feel trash. Also has a secondary effect where it gives -2 to something, which does come up a lot. I had plenty of times where I had stage down, I had leader, Leader plus stage -3, Khalifa -2, and then Lucci something, Kaku something. So the -2 does come up quite a bit, as well as just being a 2K that's searchable and can be grabbed off back. So super, super good card. I will be playing 4 next. Kaku. I was running Kaku at 2. The reduction does come up, but it's not as good as Khalifa, because Khalifa is a little more versatile with giving you the effect of draw 2, discard 2. Just another 2K counter that's searchable and can be grabbed off Becca. And I'm only playing 2 because I wanted to play one of the 0 cost event, and because I wanted to play 2 of my other 2K, which was Suru. I think Suru this set, I'm playing 2, was really good because with stage, Suru still had a lot of the same numbers that Helmeppo did, because the extra -1 didn't come up a lot. And I wanted more hits off of Gecko for reduction, so I wanted to play 2 with Suru, more hits off Gecko, so I have 4 total because I got the 2 back over here as well. So the 4 total reduction off Moria, and I didn't want to sacrifice any other cards, so I went down my 2Ks, my CP 2Ks to go up more reduction here, so I have 4 total. I almost always hit reduction. There was one time, I think, in Top Cut where I didn't hit reduction off Gecko, and it cost me a body or something like that. But I almost always had it because the 4 of, and yeah, then into the Meppo, I'm playing 2. This is just always what you want to play off Moria. It just helps you hit crazy numbers sometimes. Like, if you don't have stage out, you can go Ice Age plus Leader Swing, makes 8 costs on Gecko a 2, and then you play Gecko, play Helmeppo. The Meppo makes any of the 4 costs off Moria a 1, and then Lucci just kills both. So it helps hit crazy, crazy numbers. So that's definitely.
If you didn't have to do a removal play with Moria, what is the most value generating Moria play you can do?
So I value Moria probably 20 times throughout that tournament. It's just Gecko into Becca into Spandam. So you lose a card from Gecko, so you're down 1, but then you go up a card from Becca and Spandam, so you're up 1 card, as well as you're up a blocker, which is the important part. So the block gives you the free block, which kind of puts you up 2 cards, so you didn't have to block a swing. So yeah, value Moria was very, very good throughout the day. Came up a lot.
Okay, well, now with the stage ban announcement and the law ban announcement, what changes would you make for this deck?
So the big thing that I'm doing is I'm going down the Surus now, because without stage, it just doesn't hit the same numbers as Meppo anymore because of that whole Ice Age combo I talked about earlier. So I'm going to go up on Meppo. I think 3 reduction is a little bit less consistent, but I'm trading that off to be able to go up other cards, specifically up searchable 2Ks, because I gotta make some other cuts within the deck that end up hurting my amount of CP targets. So I'm going 3 Meppo because I think this card needs to be seen in trash next set. If not, then it gets really, really bad. I'm going up 3 Kuzans. I love this card. The reason that it wasn't played in the last set, in my opinion, was because stage is a brick and you needed to run stage at least 3 or 4. So you had to be very picky about your bricks, and Kuzan just couldn't find a slot in that meta. But now with stage gone, you have 3 extra brick slots, 3 to 4 depending on how many you played, extra brick slots that you can fill. So I think Kuzan fills that slot very nicely with the loss of production, gain of production, and this card's just really, really good. Also, on the idea of loss of reduction, I'm going with the 4 Ice Age for now. I've seen Summers run 3. I think 4 is just really good. It helps with your 9 Dawn turn Geckos, so you have Ice Age plus Gecko. I just think with losing stage, the consistency of stage over and over again, I think Ice Age needs to be at a 4 of just to be able to keep up with the amount of reduction that you need in hand.
Do you think 3 cost Brook has lost some of its versatility?
So I think 3 cost Brook goes down. I'm gonna go down 1. That's only because stage plus Brook was just so good, just clearing a 4 for free with Laker Swing is just really, really broken. But Brook is still extremely good with Ice Age in particular. And I still think I like to play it just because sometimes you miss on Spandine Lucci and you need to be able to play a Becca off of a Moria. And even if it's to clear one body, like Ice Age, Gecko, Becca, clear one body with one of the Brooks, I still think it's strong. So I'm still playing this card at 2 for now. We'll see how it turns out later. And then I'm just going up 2 more searchable 2Ks. That's because I'm cutting finger pistols for now to go up to Kuzan, so I just needed more CP targets. So that's also why I had to go down the Surus, is because I can't sacrifice some CP targets. But yeah, those are the changes that I made.
All right. So then, what was your overall experience at Peoria? Like, what set this different from your like other regionals that you participated in?
So I tested a lot for this regional. I spent countless hours testing with really good players, and I think it well prepared me for the tournament. I got good sleep. That's an important part if you're going to a tournament. Get great sleep. I've made the mistake of not getting good sleep and not drinking water and all that stuff, and it definitely affects you. As far as my last Peoria, I got top 32. I also did all the same things, got good sleep. I felt like I was well prepared for that. Sometimes you just draw better. So I drew really, really well. Day 2, day 1 was iffy, but I kind of squeezed out games.
Did you have any unfavorable matchups?
Yeah, I saw BY one time, round 1, but I was able to take that game, and I didn't really see any unfavorable matchups. I saw mostly RP Law, and my deck is very good in RP Law. Specifically, like the version that I run is very good in RP Law, so I was very happy to see majority RP Law. But yeah, I drew really well, especially day 2. I drew very fantastic into Cody, into Hart, into Sammy, like everyone. I drew really, really well. Didn't draw as well as Holden, but that's here or there.
I mean, we saw on the stream that you whiffed 2 spandom searches in one game.
Yeah, I whiffed the 2 spandom searches in game 2. I think that game was pretty cooked anyways. He had like 3 more, I had 0, so it was just cooked anyways. That last game was just the one that I needed to squeeze out, but I couldn't quite get it there.
Well, streets are saying that Eggman has beef with you. Is that true?
So there's an ongoing joke that Eggman doesn't like me because every time that I'm featured on one of his videos or on one of his, basically just videos, he always says that my deck was boring. But we don't actually have beef, it's just a joke.
We're going to go over the top placing list for each one of these leaders, starting off with their first place list, which is Cameron's version of Sakazuki. And I'm going to mean this in like the nicest way possible, but this is probably the most generic or like the best like starting list for Sakazuki. Not a lot of spice, but honestly, like this is like the standard build.
So what is the best piece of advice you can give to someone to do well competitively in One Piece?
From a competitive standpoint, I think just grinding as much as you can is really, really important. Beyond that, I think getting a good playtester group together that you trust to do well and you trust to give you good testing. Try and work into other areas that you know are good. Like, for example, Cross AI's Discord. Shout out to Cross. He has a lot of games going on in there. There's a lot of good players. You can come watch. You can come learn. I contribute a lot of my knowledge for this set to just hanging out in that Discord, playing with good players, watching good players, having good discussions, stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's the majority of it. Is just really grinding, and always be wary of your mistakes. Try not to blame the game on bad luck. No matter how bad luck happened, you got to be able to work around it. You got to be able to squeeze out those games that you draw bad, even if you draw bad. So really try not to blame games on luck. Really try and look at what mistakes you made, what slight improvements you could have made to maybe squeeze out a game. Because sometimes you try your hardest and you still lose, which is fine. But as long as you recognize your mistakes, you will improve.
Well, are you offering coaching anytime soon?
Yeah, I actually think I am going to start coaching I know Jonas does coaching. I was talking with him a bit, and I don't know. I think it'd be a fun experience. I definitely need to learn as far as coaching, like what I would do, stuff like that. So I'll test coaching in a sense with other people and see how it goes. But yeah, I'd love to start coaching, be a Lucci coach and like a general one-piece coach. I know other decks to an extent, but mostly just Lucci.
What is there any big events you're going to soon?
I have nationals coming up, so we're hoping to take first place there. Cross my fingers. But besides nationals, I'll have a few regionals. I think in the November area. So just nationals and that, and then get a second invite, go to the next nationals, and just rinse and repeat. I'm gonna try and go to more events now. That
You trying to go to Worlds?
Yeah, 100%. That's the goal. I would trying to get that free flight to Japan. It'd be nice. It'd be really nice.
Well, is there anyone or anything else you would like to shout out?
Shout out my top 32 competitors. So round one, Cody. Shout out to Cody, super good player. Was on RP Law. Shout out to my round two, which was Sammy. That was a really grindy game to get my first serial. Sammy's a great player, and he did really well. Came down to time. I won on time. That's just how it is sometimes. Next round, I played against Hassan, also a good player. He was on RP Law. And then shout out to Ryan Hartman, my top 4 competitor. He's also my testing partner, so it was really cool to be on stream with him. Top 4, like a Discord testing match for top 4 was really cool. And then obviously shout out to the winner, Holden, also known as the Flyers Raven. Super good player. I've talked with him plenty of times on Discord, and just a good player, good guy. So shout out to all those guys.
And you want to plug your socials?
Yeah, I have a Twitter at OPTCG on Twitter, and I think I'll be starting a YouTube channel here shortly as well. So it'll probably be OPTCG as well on YouTube. So yeah,
Well, we're excited to see that. We hope to see you at Nats and Worlds.
yeah.
So keep up the good work, and thanks for talking with me.
All right, thank you.